Thanks for listening. We are going to be talking about the book Pet Semetary. If you go back to part 1 of Pet Semetary, you'll hear a little bit more on the summary of the book. But today we're going to get started on our review of the 2019 version of Pet Semetary.
The modern style.
Woo!
And I'm Rhea.
Champagne.
Treva.
And Lynn.
Yes.
I don't know why I paused.
So
Sorry,
the first
guys.
thing, as it relates to this 2019 version, the graphics were phenomenal.
Yes.
It was scared the living daylights out of me.
I
Were you
love
scared?
Victor
I'm so
Pascal's
scared.
brain moving when he was on the table.
Like, it was like moving as he was like not breathing because I guess he was dead. It was just so weird.
I loved every
I
bit
did
of
too. Did you say I loved a effing bit of it?
Every bit of
Oh,
it.
okay. Yeah.
Same thing, I guess. Anyways, the graphics were amazing. I was very, very happy about that.
Yeah.
And also the cinematography, like the camera angles, when they were like dragging bodies and whatnot, they were low down, so you got like a more creepy view.
Yes.
Right. And Church was super creepy.
All the above.
So Church was super creepy.
Yes. R.I.P. Church.
Yes.
What?
Church was played by Leo the cat, and he has now passed on.
He passed on 2 months after the movie was released.
Oh,
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
it's so hard to say goodbye.
Are we done?
To wrap that up. Yeah.
I mean, I think he was like I think he was like 204 anyway.
He did have several lives in the movie,
Exactly.
right? So.
He ran through
He went through a lot of them too. It's not funny.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah.
So I really like this adaptation, except for they changed the whole end of the movie.
the entire movie itself,
Yep.
I feel.
Well, I don't know. The beginning of it seemed to flow for me, but it didn't flow for you
No,
guys.
it
flowed
as soon
for
as
me.
you started in the
Thank you,
beginning,
Liz.
it was different.
Yeah.
How did it start in the beginning? It was different.
It showed the end of the aerial view of the fire burning and the pathway, and then it went back to when they first arrived at the house when they drove
And they
up.
didn't even meet Judd in the beginning. At all.
No, it
Judd
didn't.
found Gage running into the road versus him walking up to the house.
Oh. Well, I
didn't
said that
know.
when reading the book.
Judd found
Judd was
Oh, I'm sorry. Judd found them at
The little
found
girl.
the little girl at the pet
Ellie.
cemetery.
Judd found Ellie walking in the woods.
That's
Yes.
right.
Couldn't understand
yeah.
why this little kid just walks off all the time.
And a brand new house that
exactly.
nobody even knows what's in the woods.
I get being
Exactly.
inquisitive, but like.
No, I get the kid, but the parents.
I'm saying it's like, you know your daughter's inquisitive.
Right.
I'm gonna need you to actually look out to see that she's vanished.
Yeah.
I don't know that I really liked Judd's accent because now we've gone through 2 versions.
You like
book.
the old Judd.
Yeah,
Right.
just, I mean, the character was
down
fine.
rude.
Yeah, it's just the voice.
But I like that actor. I
Yes.
like him.
Yeah, most
but
definitely.
he probably could have gotten that accent just a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
John. What was his last name?
Lithgow.
Okay, I think.
Yeah. So they changed the movie around and it didn't follow the flow of the book. Probably because Stephen King wasn't involved with writing
Exactly.
the screenplay.
Yeah.
But one of the things that was consistent in both was the fact that Judd's wife was not in
I
either
noticed
one.
that.
I'm
I was
like, why was she just removed?
Why y'all keep hating on her?
Oh, right?
Taking her out.
Poor Norma.
I know. They just did not
She
want
had
her.
arthritis and all, but she was still important.
She was very important.
I just felt like Matt Greenberg rewrote the story in a way. I mean, it just was
Completely,
it was
And
a little off.
I get it, but then I don't. Like, I get that you didn't want to make an exact replica of the 1989 version, but I feel like he was taking away pieces of the book to make his own story, which I get that's kind of like your job, but you still have to pay enough homage to the original. And I feel like he was getting a little far from that.
Do you think that just based on times, he felt the need to switch who died?
No.
No.
Because
can't
it would have
see
just
why-
crushed people to see this little kid, but now the little girl being hit was able to come back and be more like crazy after somebody, but maybe that they wouldn't have been able to do that with a younger kid.
Maybe they wanted the...
I thought that too, actually.
I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. Maybe since Matt wanted a longer part, because I feel like in the first one, or the 1989 version, Gage was a demon coming back with the scalpel just at the end.
True.
Versus in the 2019 version, Ellie as the demon to come back, they actually got to know and see her live the life and try to play the role of the dead daughter, as in her saying, "Am I dead?"
Yes.
And then realizing those like things, and then kind of going longer into a storyline versus just the last 20 minutes.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
and
true.
the little baby wouldn't have been able to have that dialogue.
Exactly.
The little baby.
Right. True.
So that makes sense, but I just don't know that they needed to do that.
I agree.
They could have still followed that same storyline. In this movie, they talked about the Native Americans a little bit more,
Right, yeah.
and how the Pet Semetary came to be. So I appreciated that piece where you got a little bit of history as to why it was even there and how it existed, or the ground went sour. But I don't know why they had to change the storyline.
And what about the sister? Was that Zelda? Was Zelda the sister?
Yes.
Yes.
Zelda was.
Yeah.
Zelda.
When she fell down that dumb waiter.
Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you. I've told you. I barely
it's
saw
so
half
good.
the movie because
Okay,
it covered
I
my
laughed.
eyes.
I'm sorry, I laughed.
Is that when you were screaming?
No, and don't get it twisted.
You
We
did.
all were screaming,
No,
but it
I
wasn't on
screamed
that
at
part.
a point, but it wasn't on that part. Right.
Right.
I kind of predicted that she was going to either come down there in
Right.
some way.
It sounded like
but
a
when
body
she
drop.
fell like a pretzel and her foot was beside her face, for some reason I just laughed. And I felt really bad for that. But it just was comical to me. Scary movies are comical to me. So that part was actually suspenseful. And to me, it ended with the humor. But it's okay.
I didn't necessarily like the younger Rachel and then up to the older Rachel. I don't know. It looked like two different people.
It didn't match. It didn't flow.
I mean, I know it's two different people, but it didn't look like that was a younger version of the mom. It was kind of weird.
But then
I'm
also,
sorry, what are you talking about?
when they flash back to when Rachel was a kid taking care of her sister Zelda.
Oh, okay, yes, you're right. They didn't match.
Well, remember in the book how she said that she was laughing? Mm-hmm. And she was like, she thought she was crying, but she ended up thinking or realizing that she was laughing outside. Mm-hmm. And in this movie, she was rocking in a corner in the kitchen.
Yeah, it didn't. They completely changed the dynamic of how Rachel really felt about her sister dying in this movie.
Exactly. So to me, it was like they made her just scary. Exactly. It was just scary for her, and that's it. Versus in the original movie, the book, and then the 1989 version, she was scared a little bit, but she also was really guilty.
Yeah.
She felt horrible for that.
Yeah. Right.
And I think they missed the mark for that one.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying. I wonder, just because of times, maybe that's why they changed that. I don't know. Like, they didn't want it to seem as though like she was happy somebody was.
But now
that
those
was
things
the story.
They're more
significant.
and they're more clear now.
Yeah.
Like in society, like you can talk about that taboo version of how people react differently. Mm-hmm. Before it was like, oh, you're just scared or you're just sad, and being guilty about something like that wasn't as taboo as it is now. Yeah. Or I'm sorry, vice versa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we
got you. Check.
Because my brain didn't, but everybody else got it. Thank you.
Right. That's all that matters, you know.
Or also, I think also it touched a little bit more on the caregiver. You know, a lot going on in society now is about caregivers of people who are ill and how long you have to take care of them and watching them.
How it affects you in your daily life and how you grow.
Yeah, so I think that had something to do with it as well. Probably going too deep, but I don't know.
Well, I love.
For once, it's not me.
I love the diversity in this book.
Yeah,
there was some minority, some color.
Victor,
and then just people around, even at the party and stuff. You just saw a diverse population.
And I like little Gage. I always got to mention my Gage because he was so cute.
Was he cute?
Yes, he was cute, especially when they left him in the car.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh! And he said, "Don't open the door."
And he wasn't opening the door, and now you just have to think back.
I love the ending. I thought it was good and different from.
I agree.
I like the ending of the 1989 version.
The true ending.
Yeah, but I really liked this. It was so dark, and it was like, oh my god, poor thing.
And to see the family walking back up together,
it was crazy.
Towards Gage, and like
spoiler alert,
it just made you want to see like that next movie.
Right.
In the 1989 version, I was like, I can watch something next after it, but it just felt so conclusive. Versus this 2019 version, where it was like, what are they gonna do? What kind of havoc are they gonna wreak?
And they still left it up to you on what happens. Like just like the 89 version. Remember, it faded to black when the wife came back and hugged him in the kitchen, and you saw her pick up the knife, but it never showed left it up to your imagination kind of thing. And the same thing here for me.
You don't think that she buttered him?
Oh, well, yeah, I'm just saying the way they ended was
I'm messing with you.
So I thought that was good. I like that.
Yeah, but it set it up for a part 2. Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't know that I can handle a part 2 because he was in that window.
Who was in the window?
Gage.
I know, he was so
He was waving like, I don't know. I don't know.
Because he said for even your sister,
but now it's
but he
sister,
didn't say
daddy,
for
and
him.
mom.
Right, exactly. I don't want to watch.
Matt, can I help you do the next part? Because I really think that Gage needs to just start the car up and drive over all of them.
Really? And he's going to come back like grown man behind the car?
No, he's going to be a child, and he's watched people drive. People now do that all the time. And he can put that car in park and drive over his whole family. And then the conclusion is he grows up, and then he's a psycho himself. And then he goes back, and he feels so bad. So he said, dig up all his parents, all his family's body, and put it in the new place, and then they all come back again.
You don't see the fault in that? The whole monologue you just had, you don't feel the fault in that? Okay. So we don't.
Or they could just kill him and he turns into a demon and they terrorize the whole town as a family.
And that's what I gathered from the ending.
Family affair.
All right, so I guess we can go ahead and vote on the adaptation.
No, we can't. We didn't talk about Ellie. And I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'm sorry. Is it either Jet or Jete? Lawrence?
Yes.
Whoever you are, I think that she did an amazing job.
She was good.
The fact that, also to go back to the cinematography, the camera angles as she was, dragging her mom's body and as she was, head down, eyes up, making that, demon stare. Not many young kids can do that. And also not, get freaked out themselves. So I was really, really impressed by her acting skills.
I thought she was a great actress as well. I can't wait to see her in future films.
Yes, agreed. And then also when she had to lay on her mom's shoulder, she had a sweet looking face. And then as she was, cutting somebody's Achilles tendon, next thing you know, she had this demonic look.
Yeah.
So I think she was very versatile.
Yeah. And then she was soft when Daddy was brushing her hair and the hair was coming out. And she said, What? And he said,
oh my gosh, that little head turn.
She said, what is it?
I don't know,
really
it's
cute.
a staples in the back of your head.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was
Some staples.
Oh, it was so graphic. It was so good.
I was just where have the staples come from? And then I forgot, oh yeah, she did get hit by a truck. No big deal.
Oh, so good.
But I was very pleased by her acting.
Yeah. Although I was so mad she was stupid in the middle of the road and nobody at the party or family or anybody saw that.
Especially when you already know that road is trouble. You're going to make sure, for one, you discuss it with your kids. Do not go even near this road.
Right.
And even if you, couldn't put a fence up, I don't know, put, some caution tape or something.
I don't know. I'm going to put a fence up. All the trees in that yard, yeah.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying, even if, I would not have that open space like that, especially with 2 young children.
Mm-hmm. I'd have a shocker.
Shock collars? Electric fence?
Collar around the kid's neck.
Oh, but they'd be alive
As they leave for school. Oh, I forgot to turn off the fence. Sorry, guys.
Let's call CPS. I really love this movie, though.
Yeah. I did too.
I think it was a good movie, but let's go ahead and vote on the adaptation.
Okay.
So, what do you think, Rhea?
Book to movie, no. Negative. So, my rating for this adaptation would be a sip. A great movie, but it was a little off from the original book by Stephen King.
Now, I'm a little torn on this because if we want to say that the movie did not follow along in the book's storyline, then yes, I would give it a sip. But I do think that this ending, and with the little small changes that they made, it being Ellie and not Gage that passed, I think that the movie's actually better than the book, to me.
Oh, I agree with that.
So the adaptation, I wanted to give it a half class because I was like, this one's better.
So I like the movie, but I actually didn't like the modifications that were made. I liked it with the little boy, the one being killed. I was disappointed that they didn't follow the storyline. So I'm going to give it a sip.
And I would agree. Although I love the movie, I actually like the book too, but I think I'm going to give it a half glass because I like the movie just that much. And the book too, it just wasn't the same.
So not quite a bottle.
Ding dong.
Okay, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed that review. Tune in next week to see what we will be reviewing next.
Yes.
Hit us up on Instagram at Read Watch Wine. Let us know if you have a book to movie transition that you would like us to review. We'd be happy to review it.
Yeah. Subscribe.
Thank you.
Looking for our wine sponsors. We can shout you out when we're drinking. There's lots of different kinds of wine that we're drinking.
Or give us wine recommendations.